Um, I think it's a smart choice because we've seen Feila play quite a lot of times, and they've been very consistent on steel altogether. They've pretty much won most of their games on steel, and if they weren't really doing that well, they always were in control. So they really have this map on lockdown, and I think SDCK want to kind of take this map away from them rather than, they don't feel too confident themselves on it. And then Feila banning Asheville. Asheville very DPS, very DM heavy map, I think, and with long sightlines and SDCK here. I think it is more of a play against SDCK, counter picking SDCK in terms of the damage that they can do, because they do have quite a lot of good people, very high DM, very skilled in the damage class players.
Yeah, I just think it's in everyone's comfort zone. Playing Highlander, you want to play on payload, of course. You don't want King of the Hill or 5 CP. Or attack defense, you want the card pushing.
Yeah, I mean, you always see sixes being played on, Koths and 5 CPs, and there's not a single sixes game that is on payload. And tonight we're going to have a payload galore, as all 3 maps are going to be payload, because the first of the picks for SDCK is Upward, which we're seeing right now, and Feila picking Borneo, the second PL map off tonight, one of the longer maps in the season. I think it's just slightly shorter than Swiftwater, which is not in the season at all. But Borneo is right up there contending for the spot of the longest payload map in existence. And then, following through, Feila banning Lakeside, a very open, very high damaging kind of Koth map. And I think this is very much against Cloudy, because Cloudy has been known to be this one of the best snipers in Europe, and he's been doing amazingly well this season as well as previous seasons. I mean, SDCK did win previous seasons as well, and they've put Feila in their second spot, at least it was last season. So definitely they want to kind of take away that advantage that Cloudy has over the enemies, away from SDCK, to kind of let themselves settle down and go for those payload maps, because the last pick for SDCK is going for the old faithful PL Badwater.
Yeah, I don't think... well, both teams have amazing snipers. Like, Castle has been one of the, heavy hitters for Feila as well. I think both lineups are equally strong. Like, both have strong combos, they have strong pick classes, and great flanks. So it will be actually really interesting how they go about this, because to me, on beforehand, they seem almost equal. Without the fact that SDCK has been maybe had an easier time through the season. They haven't lost a single game yet, whereas Feila did lose. I think they lost 3 games, so they were only 3rd seed. But then in the playoffs phase, they actually rolled through.
It might actually come into play later on. I mean, this is the thing. I always say, every single cast I try to at least mention the fact of the psychological warfare and how it works, because it's actually very important. It's not just fun in games for Team Fortress 2. The mental battle between 2 teams, the exhaustion that will definitely come into play, because we are in for a long one, and it's a late evening start, and it's gonna go probably all the way through, to the last payload map, and all of those maps are best of 3. So it's going to be a very long one. We'll see how it goes. Maybe one of the teams will just simply roll the other 2-0. Maybe it will go all the way to the 3rd map. We don't know. We might actually finish at midnight. But all we know that we're in for a long one, for a long haul here. And the psychological warfare, the exhaustion will inevitably come, after basically being on your legs the entire day and then having to play Team Fortress 2 in the evening. And in addition to that, you have SDCK, which you said yourself, they have not lost a single game. But we know from experience that a loss teaches so much more than a victory, in every single possible way. Because if you win constantly, you don't really know where your mistakes are. But if you lose, a game or 2 or 3, you actually know where your mistakes are, where you're actually making those mistakes, and how to fix them. So I think that Feila eSports here will be coming into this game kind of more prepared, more motivated than SDCK. I think SDCK may be kind of acting a little too arrogant and that may be their downfall. But those are just my predictions here, and I'd love to hear yours.
I did look up actually, and they did play each other in the first week on the map Swiftwater, and SDCK clutched it out with a 2-1 victory in a best of 3. So maybe it was closer than we would think it was. But it was Swiftwater. They're not playing that tonight, but they both seem to enjoy payload. And I saw that Viljak joined the server, so that will be interesting to see.
Ooh, Viljak. The man and the legend of strong opinions joining the server. We don't know what's going on. We may yet hear from our production about what is going on with Viljak himself. Maybe he's been playing the season for SDCK. We haven't really been covering UGC that much because we're a little bit too busy with all the other games as well, which is, we do sincerely apologize for that. But thankfully, though, we are here to cast the finals, the game for all the marbles in the box, as some say. And we'll see which team actually takes all the marbles just prior to the Copenhagen LAN, which will definitely kind of set the mood for how these future games will be looking like during the actual LAN competition.
Well, looks like we're going live now.
So Seal, here, peel upward, Layla and her team, Feila eSports, versus Clark and his team, SDCK. Who do you think will take this map? Will it go all the way to 3 maps, in total? Or will we see a straight-up roll from SDCK as this is their pick?
I do believe SDCK will take this map, and probably the entire series within 2 maps. This roster just looks absolutely stacked, and it's gonna be something extra for Feila if they want to take this one.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kritzcast. This is a game between Feila and SDCK. This is the game for all the marbles. 27th season of UGC, final game of Highlander, as we're getting ready to open the gates, start pushing the card, and hopefully push it all the way to the end. On the blue side, it is the SDCK. On the red side, it is the Feila eSports. 10 seconds left on the clock as we're getting ready to roll with the action of tonight. Rambazar, Furley, standard, sentry position, none out of the ordinary, no engineer actually willing to take the risk of putting it somewhere else. And there he goes, Sandberg and Mezzo kind of charging in. Sandberg taking a lot of damage for his trouble, and he's gonna get cleaned up, trying for a good push there, but didn't quite manage to get far enough as the wall of death in the form of the red team is just blocking his path.
He was just waddling forward, he wasn't jumping in, he just walked forward, tried to pressure Joe, hoping for a pick. They did get Joe now. I don't know if that's enough. I would think they want to at least force the medic in this before they
But
exchange.
there you go. Bluebird comes out on Sandberg and his planet as well. They're just kind of being pushed away by Wiethoofd and Layla, just singling out that Uber on the Pyro. There's some background. Mezzo though. Oh, Mezzo is just kind of sneaking through. He's gonna get found out by Wiethoofd. Wiethoofd knows there's a spy lurking around, but the sentry has been virtually untouched. And neither Uber has really worked out too well. I mean, this is in favor of the red team as they're still holding on that position. Mezzo is just walking all the way behind, and it seems that SDCK here are not really willing to push it too hard just yet, waiting for the card to get into better position. Cloudy scores a kill onto Kaza, freeing up so much room on the space. But there goes Newbie and Joe in UFC with Sandra and Viljak and Poker then dying one by one in this nice trio of kills, and definitely slowing down the offense from the SDCK here.
Yeah, the first Uber was very poor. You see Jacklegs on the direct hit trying to spam that sentry up, but they can't even get that far. I really think they should have waited with the Uber and tried to get a force.
Feila actually looking very, very strong. They haven't lost their sentry position yet. Ramazan is using the space wrench, kind of porting himself all the way back to the spawn to repair his teleporter, get the team back into the action faster. Feila already has 100% Uber charge. As for SDCK Plant, Saturn only on 30%. They cannot really do much without the Uber charge just yet. Maybe they're looking for a force, and there he comes. Join UFC getting low on health right now, putting some nice builds into the spawn, but he's not gonna catch any. He's looking for some more targets there. Coco Bear and then Viklas finding basically Yahoo and then Clark's sentry gun, but that's about it from this engagement. Still looking very, very strong Feila eSports. I'm wondering how much longer they'll be able to hold this first point.
They they need to get this next Uber right for SDCK. They cannot drop this. They need to get value out of it. They need to get a sentry and they need to push them out.
Fairly standard idea, very solid strategy, but they need to get a Uber. Uber is charged already. Feila only on 65%. Meza goes in, tries to sap the sentry, gets a nice sap onto it, and Rambazar cannot really save it. Uber comes out as well from the blue side. Charging forward they are right now. Sandber's a lot of trouble right now from Wiethoofd, but gonna get cleaned up with a nice pipe to the face. Now middle with his team right now just kind of sitting in front, still trying to delay this card as much as they can, allow Rambazar to build up yet again on the second point, but I don't think it's gonna be a good idea for Layla here. She's very far forward. She may get caught off guard if she doesn't watch out. She's now still sticking around here, still popping the Uber, trying to clean up the card. They may be able to stop it yet.
It was actually a Nubby who, during the Uber exchange, popped a defensive Conjurer so they got HP and speed to not die immediately. But Layla just died. That's unfortunate. If SDCK is fast here, they can take the hill very quickly before they set up.
Great play by Cloudy there, actually finding the headshot, still scoped in. He has nobody really to counter him just yet. Kaza has just respawned and trying to counter snipe the other sniper. Sandmer going in. Doesn't really worry about too much. He's taking so much damage for his trouble. There's only level 2 sentry, but Rambos are getting killed by Cloudy there. That's a crucial mistake there on the part of the engineer for Feila eSports. As now comes the Blue Deluge with a 100% Uber charge, only 30% on the side of Layla. They just kind of can take the second point as they wish. There's nobody really to stop them from doing so.
They are aware they're on an Uber disadvantage, so they're doing the smart thing and get a proper hold on third, which can be hold really strongly with the sniper sightlines and the higher ground. So that's a good play from Feila. Usually you see people, try to force it on second.
Here middle actually still sticking behind. He's doing so much damage, but he's gonna get cleaned up there. Sandburn takes the credit for this one. And now Planet Saturn trying to build up his Uber charge. Layla has the advantage over him. Nice headshot by Kazark onto Cloudy. He's still scoped in. He doesn't have really anybody to counter him right now. Here comes Sandburn, but he's gonna pay with his life for the trouble. Now Clark gets piped in by Joan UFC. That's a 9th kill on his pipe gun. And that is huge, as Joan UFC hasn't really been dying the entire game right now. He's died less than Layla as far as I know. And now Layla with 100% Uber charge, they'll be looking to get a force here. Vilchak is behind, just kind of bunking in. Uber comes out, trying to stop this attack from doing any sort of damage. Joan UFC jumps in, looking for the medic, and he finds it with a 10th kill!
He had to get that kill. Like, when he was so overextending, if he hadn't got that kill, they would have been a disaster. But they do get it in the end, and he kind of makes up for it. I also enjoy the red defense here. They're actually actively defending the cart from going up the slopes. It's like, what is it, 3 ramps they have to push up actively before he rolls down. So they're doing a good job denying that, to not let them push for free.
Actually, Sandler and Mezzo are the victims of that exact defense happening right now, and it's working out for them. And Vclox is very, very far forward, kind of pushing everybody away from the cliff. And there's Joe in UFC who is putting so much damage on the car, just backs up only to get some more heals and ammo in his gun. And then you have Newbie who just actively jumps with that black box and the conch, just constantly being alive, and that's so hard. Now Joe in UFC unfortunately getting sniped by Cloudy, and Kaza has to find him, and he does! With an amazing headshot onto the enemy sniper here, freeing up so much room. There's card being pushed, but Kaza dominating Yahoo right now with Samskis to boot. So they're basically just kind of holding this point. The card, however, is being slowly pushed. The Uber has come out of Layla, kind of forced out there was Feila eSports, and they kind of have to push back a little bit further. They cannot really hold this point any longer, but they've held it for a long time now. 6 minutes and 30 seconds is not a bad time at all.
I think it was a misplay from Feila, because they were not holding the choke. They were holding behind the choke, so it allowed a lot of room for Cloudy and Sandburn to just walk forward. And as soon as Cloudy got the demo pick, they could just walk over them.
Your vehicle's kind of battling the entire blue team. There comes the Uber charge. Sandburn is the one recipient of it. Chasing down Layla, finds a pill onto her, and that's a good pick, as there's nobody on the red side to kind of heal the team. Newbie is behind, trying to look for something here. Kaza's also scoping on the cart, just trying to stop this madness from happening, but the blue team here, SDCK, kind of too scattered to get a push out of this pick. Plat Saturn is actually gonna go down to Newbie. Newbie finds a kill onto the medic, and that is huge right now because that may save the point for Feila eSports right now, as Layla just respawned, got herself 15% on her medigun, and she might yet to actually get it, but Mezzo's behind. He might be able to get the medic. She's not there, and there goes the stab. Mezzo finds another kill on the medic.
That's big. I thought they would actually recover from that with the kill on Sprayer. Sprayer got in after the fight for some reason. But now they actually have they have the chance again with Layla down.
That is just huge right now. I believe it's Sprayer, Planet Saturn, and the Sprayer one. Kaza actually finds 2 kills here. Sandber and Yahoo are the recipients of that bullet. As right now, well, Feila kind of crumbling under the pressure. They don't have the advantage. They're losing players left and right. They don't have the top window position, which is so crucial in holding last. And there's Clark also building that level 1 sentry to kind of establish themselves on this aggressive position. Maybe even use the sentry gun to kind of snipe some people across the map. Mezzo is still behind. He's decloaked right now, looking for a kill. He's only gonna get a Coco Bear, but that's okay. Uber comes out of Planet Saturn. Spare kind of jumps in, tries to save as many people as he can, but they lose Jackie Legs in the engagement there. Newbie just jumps in, but the cart gets pushed in, and there was nobody to stop it.
I think as soon as they got the frag onto Joe, there was no spam on the cart, and they could, when they put their meaty targets like Heavy and Soldier with a lot of HP on, they could just tank all the other spam. Because the sentry was probably only like a level 1 sentry, so there was no real damage coming out. As well played, because they got the card up very far before the last push, so you only had to push it a little bit.
So, 8 minutes and 44 seconds. So you think it's a good time for PL Upward, especially against SDCK?
I think it's above average. I would say it's not bad. It's not a 10-minute run plus, but it's absolutely above average. I would say about 6 minutes would be standard.
Right. Yeah, I would say so. From watching a lot of PL Upward games, usually the time is around, 6-7 minutes. 8.5 is kind of, pushing the limit of what we're used to see. So that kind of gives Feila this very comfortable position of having a lot of time to work with. But now the gates are down. This round is still continuing. They're going in. Coco Bear getting sniped. They're sticky there. Now UGC gets sniped. That push is gonna get completely dismantled. Vico is just getting blasted away as the sentry gun is in such an aggressive spot by Clark. And I think it's a good idea here as well. You know that there are gonna be some jumpers there, and the blue team is not gonna push immediately. So might as well just push this sentry as far forward as we can, and then we just zap it back with the rescue ranger.
I enjoy that sentry spot as well, at least for the first wave, because they won't expect it, so they won't turn that corner slowly. Like, they will take the next corner, and then boom, a sentry. But he should move it, because now that Joe knows where it is, he can just spam it out.
Samson's actually behind the enemy. Right now, just kind of lurking into shadows, waiting for a good moment to push, and he does. Bonk is popped. Running in front of the sentry is Samsky, trying to block as much damage as he can. Here come the jumps, but they're getting completely dismantled. Their vehicle's getting sniped there, and then Rambos are going down as well. And Saturn actually popping the Uber there, just kind of save his team, and he does. But now Layla has 100% Uber advantage. They know about this, and now they're slowly walking outside of the spawn. Middle took some damage for his trouble. He's just gonna return to spawn. They don't need him for this push just yet. Here, Jackie likes a little bit of trouble. Uber comes out of the blue team, pushing hard, are they? And the card is getting spammed out as well by Joe and UFC, but not close enough is Joe to take it down right now. Clark is on half HP with the sentry gun and still shooting around, and they haven't really done much with that Uber charge.
They lacked a pyro in that exchange. Oh, a double reflect from Yahoo, that's really nice. Now they were lacking a pyro in the push from, I think Wiethoofd died to Viljak right before, so Yahoo could just push them back, uncontested, and he also reflected every single projectile that came in. So to take down a level 3 sentry that's wrangled and rescue ranger.
That's crucial here. Coco Bear actually going in, trying to sap it, and actually worked out with Newbie with that direct hit. That's gonna prove useful, but there comes the red Uber charge and charging into Layla, who just gets sandwiched in that little corner, little narrow pathway on the side. And now the entire blue team is just kind of dying slowly. Middle's gonna go down as well. Actually managed to pop off a little bit of the taunt of the Fist of Steel, getting sniped there by Poker. But it seems that this is the cue for SDCK to move back to the second point. They have a lot of time to work with. The first point hasn't even been capped just yet. Now they're just gonna finish it off, Feila eSports, and they're moving on top of the cliff. Neither medic really has the uber advantage yet either. But then Feila, not really wanting to waste too much time, they're going through bottom, going off the flank, and they're gonna catch Poker off guard. Now jakeowaty is there as well. So much damage being exchanged. Vico's just running in when he takes a huge chunk of damage to his trouble as well. Now Kaza tries to pan the Pyro, but Pyro is always gonna win 1v1, man, especially if it's close range. Unfortunate bastard. As now medic actually goes in here. Layla 50%. Here Plant Saturn, aka Sprayer 75. Neither medic really has the advantage still, but that advantage here, that push has been slowed down to a crawl, and well, basically we'll be waiting for an Uber exchange.
They popped Conched. Are they gonna push with it, or are you just holding out? I don't know. They're not doing anything with the Conch.
Conch is maybe just kind of waiting for push. Oh, the Uber comes out as well. Yeah, there's just people flying around left and right. Plant Saturn looking for some people to work with. They can't find anybody, and neither can Layla, just kind of sitting behind with those Ubers. Now there's the time to push dry into this point, but no! Cloudy finds a headshot onto Layla, and what a shot that was! It's huge, and then Joey also goes down, looking for middle as well, but he doesn't find him. She's still looking for more kills, and he gets a assist onto Newbie. That's absolutely huge for Cloudy, and this is why they didn't want to have those open maps and play against Cloudy, because he knows what to do with that sniper rifle.
He gets the first kill and you're like, wow, and then the second guy's like, he won't hit the second one, and he peeks. And then Joey FC's like, well, he won't hit three shots, but he gets deleted as well. It's absolutely amazing.
And he's still kind of lurking around. Now Journey FC needs to kind of do something about the scout. Pester his medic, but no! Medic goes down here. Layla actually getting finished off with the last speed shot from Viljack. And unfortunately there is going to slow down this offense even more. And there's already 4.5 minutes bled out from the clock allocated for Feila to push into this. And they're still stuck on the second point. Planet Saturn on 100% Uber charge and not really... Oh, there it comes. As I said and called it, they're trying to go in as far as they can, but they're being blasted by Vclogs. Vclogs absolutely amazing job on the Pyro class, just kind of saving the team the trouble. Now jumps in the jetpack, tries to go for the medic, but he unfortunately pushes him away. Frere comes out alive on the situation. Now Jackie Legs pops his Codge, looking to go aggressively into this situation. Middle getting healed up, and they're gonna get blown up as well. And they land nobody.
Fat air shot. I don't know if it's stream caught it, but it was absolutely amazing.
Fat air shot.
Yeah, we just denied the bomb in. It all started with the Kaza actually getting one with a headshot.
Oh my god! Oh, Kazarock! Oh, that taunt was definitely deserved here. Just absolutely smashed that soldier in the head as he was jumping away into the cliff. Absolutely amazing shot. I'm so glad we caught it, but now
they have secured the point. They should get this
that actually
now.
worked out in their favor, as the card is slowly being pushed to the second point, but there's a lot of time already down from the clock and only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on it to actually get it pushed all the way to the last point. And seeing how SDCK is playing, that's gonna be a tricky one, I think.
I believe it's about I might have my seconds wrong, but I think it's 40 seconds from the third point to the last point if you have times 3. So that's the... Oh, he's super into spy.
What? What's going on right now? What happened?
Kokobear got flashed in Uber when he was zapping the sentry.
Just extra protection, you know. You never know. It's better to save than sorry. But Mezodes finds a kill onto Kazarock, filling up that void that Cloudy needed to actually, you know, snipe through. And now Cloudy has unprecedented range on anybody that tries to sneak through the cliff right now.
But look at this defense. They're not holding the choke, so they can't deny the slope from the card pushing up. So they get like up the first slope and they're up the second slope. So now they only have this last slope to push up. And it's all for free.
Oh, that's sturdy by Kazarock. He actually peeks into the sentry gun, finds a kill. And then, but Mezzo actually equalizes and killing Layla with a backstab. That's going to be quite crucial there for Feila eSports to actually stabilize. they've lost their medic. Saturn has popped his cherry, but unfortunately, didn't really get too much out of it. I mean, the entire blue team has been dismantled before this Uber even came out. Now Feila, with 1 minute and 15 seconds on the clock, they'll be struggling to actually get this card pushed in. Like you said, you think it's about 30 seconds, it might be actually 30 seconds, but the red team is pushing, well, defending very, very passively, as you can see. Oh! Whoa! Whoa, Jackie Lace and Sandberg finding 2 kills there. V-Club's middle, Samsky all going down the card, not really pushed up the third slope there. Joe in UFC needs to kind of step on the cart if he wants to actually stay in this, but he doesn't. He's more concerned about taking some more kills, and then Newbie just falls off the cliff like that, surfing, unfortunately. Yahoo there finds Joe, and Joe is just kind of stuck on the staircase on the side near the shit house, as is commonly known, trying to put some more damage on the card. Here is the Demoman from the red team, and there's so much damage coming out. They need to push it in. They do, but there's 24 seconds to go, and the Uber comes out from the red team as well. And I think this is all she wrote, Seal.
I think so too. I think they genuinely had a chance because SDCK knew it was so little time left on the clock, so they were playing very passively, not trying to make any mistakes, but they just invited Feila. But then I believe Joe mainly got kinda overexcited and thought it was less time than it actually was, because if they had just taken it slow and just got on a straight, Uber push, it would be doable, but they were kinda stressing.
The pressure may have gotten to him, as well. Feila have pushed admirably well in the first round. I mean, 8 minutes and 30 seconds was actually a very good time of holding. I mean, SDCK had troubles on the first point, and they wasted so much time there, but then the rest of the points were kind of a breeze. Feila couldn't really stop them, aside maybe from the third point, where they put up some kind of a defense. They were holding quite aggressively, but once they've lost most of their players from the cliff, there was nobody actually to fall back on. And as a result, they've lost third point, and then they lost last point as well, pretty much in quick succession, whereas SDCK kind of, went from the strategy of keeping constant pressure on a defending team and the attacking team, basically going the same way both times. I mean, what do you think? What SDCK did well that Feila didn't?
I think they play around their combo a lot more. I think they have more players within the pushes as well when they push, so they don't lose someone like Feila did. They would lose a Pyro or a Soldier or a Demoman when they're about to push, because he's not with the team, he's not within the combo. Maybe he's, helping out the flank or getting something. But it's kind of sloppy mistakes, I would say.
And you can't really afford yourself to make those sloppy mistakes if you're playing in the grand final of UGC. Those are the mistakes you can do during the season, but not really when you're playing for the first place medal. As we're closely and shortly getting into the second round of this game here on PL Upward. It is best of 3 after all, and all the maps tonight are going to be best of 3. As Newbie goes in, very aggressively, is going to go down just like that, getting mowed down. Cody finds a kill onto Joe as well with a nicely placed headshot. Is still looking for Kazarok, but he might not get him just yet. Just looking through those tiny, tiny nudges and gaps between those planks to find some more headshots to snipe, but it's not quite gonna work out, and it's just kind of slow push coming from the side of Feila. They're not really too rushed yet. They don't have to fight against the clock. Newbie goes in with a huge jump, but he's not gonna find too much. But Coco Bear and Joe finding Jack Flex and Viljack. Those are 2 picks that they may be looking for, as there's a long way from spawn if they want to actually get into this action as the defensive team. But Cloudy taking out Kaza, and then Sandburn actually finding Rambazor. Is just, they keep bleeding the blue team just one by one, slowing that offensive down.
It's all right though, because they're pushing the car, so it's fine. I mean, oh, here we go, Uber exchange, both teams.
It's just kind of Poker being the single red Uber shiny person on the team, now being flashed by Sandburn. But Sprayer's doing a pretty good job at keeping every single one of his teammates alive and healthy. Not much that they can do about this. Feila eSports are trying to find an opening kill. Also, Newbie's running the direct hit just to take down the sentry gun. But SDCK is just holding so well. They just, push in when they can. fall back when they need to, but there comes Coco Bear with a nice stab onto Clark, and this is what they've been looking for, opening up so much room. And I think this is gonna be the cue for Feila to actually push into this. They don't have the players, so they might need to wait for the respawn wave. But after that, it's a free country to take the first point.
Absolutely. Before they have a slight Uber. It's probably not doable, but with the sentry down, they should have at least more room for their flank classes to come in and help out. And they're getting some heavy picks here. Heavy, and the demo is down.
Yeah, and then Joe gets flashed here with the Uber charge, jumps in, looking for the medic. Here comes a huge bomb, takes down Cloudy, still looking for the medic, but doesn't really find her or him here. Uber comes out of Sprayer, actually getting pushed straight into the blue team, and they find there Layla, Kaza, Viglox, and Middle. One by one, this entire offensive gets absolutely knocked back and killed before even actually capping the first point of the game. And they were a little bit too overzealous there, Seal, to actually going into that as far forward as they did, because they were hoping for the kill and they didn't get it, and they, you know, and then Sprayer just pops his Uber and comes into the entire blue team and just cleans up shop, and the first point is still not capped.
Well, I had counted it as capped. I'm sure they did as well, because it was so close, and then he just ran in again. It was what do we say, like unintentional bait coming back in with the scout and the pyro. I mean, it's kind of lucky though that it worked out. It shouldn't.
But it did, and then Yahoo comes in with just W plus M1, burning everything in his sight, takes one kill and walks away. It's just the way the cookie crumbles right now, and you have to remember that PL Upward was the pick for SDCK, so they are far more comfortable on this map than Feila is. Now they finally capped the first point in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. It's a long time to cap first point, as it is designed to be one of the easiest points on this map. It's one of the old school payload maps where the first point is easiest and then it gets progressively harder as you go on. But the second point hasn't been set up yet by the red team, and they're kind of still scrap fighting that through. The Uber comes out of the blue team trying to find Plant Saturn, who's sitting in there. Join UFC comes in, looking for some more kills, finds Clark. That's no engineer for the red team. He's running away, but he's gonna get found out by Vildrak, who is on his runaway getaways route. And, well, basically no engineer in the second point means you can't really hold it too far. Newbie comes in with a huge bomb, finds one, and then gets cleaned up himself. And there, Sprayer actually popping the Uber charge to save the team. But it's not a good pop, as, well, the Blues will be just simply able to wait it out and then push back in whenever they want.
I want to say it was a good pop though, because they Ubered way too early on the offense. Feila Ubered so early that the cart wasn't ready. So when they had, you know, they had secured the entire spawn, but the cart was nowhere near, so they had to stay around, and it got cut out.
Oh, reflect by Yahoo onto Newbie. That's a low one, but still a reflect. And there goes the kill. Newbie no more on the battlefield, and the blue team was still trying to keep going. Here, Feila eSports actually just kind of dry pushing this one in, but Clark was allowed all the time in the world to build up the level 3 sentry. Rams are getting sniped from the cart right now, as he was the only one pushing. Newbie comes with a huge bomb. Middle actually goes in there as well. There's to clean up the shot, but Mezzo's there to clean him up. And then Layla is almost getting gunned down by Mezzo as well, but she's alive and healthy somehow by the skin of her teeth, and still has that advantage over Plant Saturn. Only 4 people alive for the red team SDCK. And they may not be able to set up a defense on the third point. This might go all the way to third already.
Clark died really late, and I don't know if it was intentional to try to delay for his respawners, or if he just got caught out and didn't get communicated. Because he's only level 1 sentry here. It's not gonna be that strong.
Oof, early Uber coming out of Layla, kind of hoping for a much more aggressive defense coming out of SDCK, but there was nobody really to shoot. And then Mezzo comes in as the Uber fades, stabs himself a kill, and just like that, kind of pays with his life, but he's okay with that. It's a kill for a spy. That's all good in my book. And they're pushing the cart slowly up the second slope of this third point. Uber comes out of the red team, trying to just kind of finish off anybody that is still lingering behind, but they're not really doing too much with it, as Sandburn has kind of slowed down his aggression. Johnny FC getting caught off guard. He's doing so much damage and by putting some pills on the enemy opposition, but He's still by himself, he's not really healed, and now he's dead.
It was a weird Uber, because they had to get the medic with that Uber, but the medic was nowhere close, so I don't think... Must have been a miscommunication, because now... Feila is up on a Uber ad here, which they kinda need to, you know, get perfect with the next push.
100% onto Layla, 70% on the Plant Center, and they need to push it immediately, and they do right now. Going in is the blue team, full force it. Sunmer and Village actually finding themselves 2 kills before the Super has even started, and then goes Viethoofd as well with a nice sentry gun placement. Finally, sentry gets cleaned up, however, by Joe and UFC, and that may be able to open the room for the blue team to push in. Only 4 people alive for the Reds. Your Plant Saturn on 100%, but he doesn't have anybody really good to Uber charge. He's still cloudy on the sniper rifle, still looking down this major place. Finds himself a kill. Joe and UFC falling down. There comes the Uber charge with the respawn wave, but it's not fast enough to stop this cart from getting pushed in all the way to the 3rd point. And thankfully for the blue team here, Feila eSports will be able to get themselves the forward spawn and actually flush out the enemy from the last point, hopefully trying to get it pushed as fast as they can, as there's already 7 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock.
The good thing there though is they had 8 people alive when they lost the points, so they can get properly set up on the high ground, and they have a sentry for last. And it's not, I would say that's an equal Uber ad. Well, that's a big Uber ad. Because now nobody is fried. Sprayer.
Now look at the sentry placement. Look at the sentry placement of the red sentry right now. It's just kind of cheating, floating in the air. You know, covering a lot more ground, and now as it gets finished off by the blue team who just Ubered here. Feila pushing hard. Viethoofd actually getting piped midair by Sandburn, who's barely alive out of this exchange. But they're losing Sprayer there in the previous engagement will definitely spell a disaster for SDCK. Now Layla not only popped her Uber, but also keeps up with the Uber kind of advantage-disadvantage ratio, and will be able to kind of still stay in this. They're pushing up the card slowly but steadily. Now the respawn wave is coming out from Feila eSports. They have the Uber charge and people healed up and ready to go. Kazarok is already on the aggression. Viethoofd slowly pushing the card as well.
Card.
Yeah,
he gets so far for free. How is no one stopping him? Like, it's almost up there. It's just, that's like 1 push away from just getting tipped over.
Jack's so angry right now, just chasing down people in the sewers. Still chasing up, going far forward. Finds himself Viethoofd, but Viethoofd is gonna set him on fire and push him away. And now he's gonna catch a pill for his trouble as well. Sandburn is credit of that. Clark finds middle as well. Just a lot of kills being exchanged, but in this engagement here, seems that Feila is on the losing side. Viljak Ubered in, coming for to Layla, and finds her with 2 beat shots onto the medic body. And that's all she wrote for her, at least in this engagement, as they're kind of struggling. They had the advantage in the previous few pushes, but they've lost it completely, and now SDCK not only have their medic up and in a good position, but they've also have slight Uber advantage. So, well, that's just looking very promising for SDCK, that we might even go to above, well, 10 minutes of time.
They just lost their medic. They lost their medic. They're losing everyone now.
That's huge. That's
They're
huge
bleeding
right
on all fronts right now.
That's huge, as Jackie Legs and Yahoo are still holding up top, but they don't have any heals right now. Kazarok just goes into Yahoo's flamethrower, and Viethoofd's low on health out of this engagement as well. Yahoo's still up there, burning down Rambazor, and he's gonna actually find him there. But unfortunately, Viethoofd is also a pyro, and he's also on the card. Will be able to push away all the damage, all the spam, and hopefully any opposition that comes. And by himself, almost pushes it in. It was so close to tipping over into the middle pit, but it wasn't close enough. Now Rabazar is on the card duty. There's 4 people up for the blue team, 4 people up for the... Rabazar just walks off the cliff for no reason, but it doesn't matter, because finally Feila actually pushes the card into the pit. Grants themselves, well, basically puts themselves on the map, on the scoreboard, but, you know, at what cost was that?
It was for the cost of Rambazor's soul. He sacrificed himself to jump into the pit. The pit demanded a kill. They got it. No, so, I think it was... They made it a lot harder than it had to be, Feila, because they had they had every frag. I think the only defense SDCK had in the end was a demo man and a sentry and a sniper, and that's really powerful. Yes, but if 8 people up, you should just be able to spam them out without the heal, so they go back into the spawn doors. They kind of made it home for themselves. And 11 minutes, it's now we're above the 10-minute mark.
It's gonna be a long time, and well, SDCK did win the last one, and they've pushed the card much faster than Feila did. So this time around, we shall see if they manage to beat that time as well. It's a long time, so there's a lot of time for making mistakes, you know, some trial and error, and we'll see how it goes as the gates are down, the players are out like bulls out of the pen. Let go. Viljak goes on the flank already, finds himself Samsky, and there comes Zandburn with a nice jump, finds the sentry gun. He's a little bit too open in there and gets killed as well. Now jakeowaty jumps up top, misses the jump there, and he's just putting some more damage, but this first wave didn't really quite work out for SDCK.
No. Sandberg jumped in and he saw Samsky on the flank and he decided to kill him instead of going for the medic, which is kinda weird, but they didn't really use that number on the flank anyway.
It's a lot of damage being exchanged right now between blue and red team. Kokober and Kaz are down for the reds. Mezzo is the only casualty for the blues. Now Uber comes out from Plant Saturn trying to charge in with his demo man, but there comes the counter pop and they're locking down Saturn in that little shed. He's still Ubered, so he managed to survive this one, but he's on fire. He'll be able to survive if he touches the cart, but he just doesn't manage by his skin. His burning body flops on the ground just before reaching the healing beam of the cart. And that means there's no medic for the red side and no medic for the blue side. It's just anybody's game at this point, but seems that Feila decides to just kind of back away from this situation and was pushed too far forward, and of course blue team will have a much shorter way to the card to get pushed into the first point as the clock just ticked.
They do get it in the end, but when the Uber changed, they had a sniper pick which they should have utilized. They should have pushed forward without the sniper sightline and just spam out and get the force clean. And instead, I mean, they kinda won the chaotic Uber exchange. But that's sloppy mistakes, even from SDCK.
Yeah, but they have a lot of time to work with. They don't really have to worry too much about the clock just yet. Nice headshot there from Kaza. Still trying to follow up with a body shot, but misses every single one. And Mezzo actually finds Layla there, and Join UFC in quick succession. That's the entire defensive combo getting dismantled. Middle just getting away from the dodge right now. He needs to kind of stay alive. He gets pestered by the pesky scout who takes away his sandwich as well. And Viljak still following through, looking for Kazarok, but Kaza finds a headshot onto Viljak. The tiny head of a scout gets found out. Newbie tries to save the situation, jumps in the window, but there comes the heavy weapons guy and just shoots down the sentry all by himself. Almost taking it down, and there it goes. And it seems that Feila will have to go back to the third point already.
But they're not pushing the cart, so they have time here, Feila. If they just get the response and they stop speeding, they might have a chance, because they don't have an Uber on the SDCK side either, so if they stay their ground and then push out together, they could do it, but it looks like they're actually giving it up.
It's kind of what I'm seeing right now, Seal, is that there's a dissonance of what Feila wants to do and what they're doing, and you can see there's kind of a conflict within the team, whereas SDCK, despite being basically the same team just in a different skin, they have that cohesion going, and they basically every single time something's happening they know what to do, where to go. But now continuing with the action, Kazarok finds a kill on Cloudy as the Uber comes out of the blue team. Counter Uber from the Reds as well, trying to push them away. SDCK on the defensive, chasing out the SDCK's Joe, and Newbie missing out some jumps thanks to some nice rockets from jakeowaty. jakeowaty following up, looking for a kill, and he finds one there. But Join UFC just kind of equalized the situation, taking down the enemy soldiers, so no soldiers on the battlefield right now. Now SDCK kind of stumped. They need to get this card pushed in as far as they can before they actually want to push into the point, because right now, I mean, it's gonna be a repeat from the last point. You know, you pushed so far forward, but where's your card?
I was actually, like, to be honest, a train wreck of a Uber from SDCK, because they lose their sniper, I mean, like on the bottom of the slope. And then it looks like a panic pop from Sprayer on his demo on the scout, but then he doesn't flash the scout to dice a sticky trap. And it's just him with his demo man, and the Uber has almost faded when they reach the top where the enemies are. And they didn't push the cart at all during that time.
And it doesn't look too promising for the red team here, but the SDCK pops in the Uber charge just slightly later than Layla, and Layla is also sharing this one heavily. They kind of defend the point, use V-Clocks to his fullest advantage, push the enemies away and backing away into the shade area where the dispenser is. But the cart is now being pushed in very, very closely to the third point. They need to kind of make somebody go on it, but they missed it completely as Viljak sneaks one in. Now the red team has to get away from the situation. Feila eSports taking up the top spot, both medics without any Ubers just yet, but they need to get their place in the right spot. 5 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock to defend the last point, seeing how SDCK plays. I don't think that Feila will be able to hold this seal.
No, it looks rough. They would need to deny 3-4 pushes here successfully, and all you need is, you know, one pick on a demo man or a sniper or the medic.
That's going to be a close one here. Middle actually winning this one. Sandburn also going down, so that aggression is complete. This manhole. Jackie Legs jumping in behind. Finds a rocket on the Layla, but Layla just nerves of steel and trust in her teammates as she survives this one with that Uber charge as well. Cloudy finds a nice kill onto Kazrak, opening himself a lot of room to work with. Still sits on the cart with Viljak. Sentry gun level 3 already built up as well by Rambazor. Shooting down the sewers area and trying to protect the cart as much as he can. Uber comes out from both sides. As it is just kind of fruitless engagement in those narrow, tight corridors where nobody's really damaging anybody. But there's a lot of kills coming from the red side. Kind of cleaning up house out after this Uber charge has concluded. Poker is pretty much the only one live on the battlefield, and there's also Mezzo who's sneaking through, managing to take down the sentry gun, but that's about it. And Feila still managing to keep a hold on that top window area.
Yo had a way better Uber, so he just barreled forward with that last seconds of Uber and just pushed forward. They got the frags, but he died for it. But
oh, what a kill there! Sandburn finds middle, and then Kazarok also getting down. That means that there's a lot of room to work with for SDCK if they want to push this in. Layla is about to hit her Uber charge, but it doesn't really have anybody high damaging with her to actually make the best use of it. Mezzo's already there as well. Jackalas getting a rocket for his trouble. Mezzo, ooh, almost getting V-clocked, but not close enough. There's a lot of damage coming to the windows. Layla still holding Uber charge. She knows how important that is. Saturn also sitting on 100%, losing a lot of players in the last engagement, so he's gonna wait for the respawn wave. 3 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Has a lot of time, both medics on full Uber charge. Now it's gonna go down. Who gets the first pick?
I don't know why they haven't pushed, because they had both. They killed both the demo and the heavy and they didn't push. But now Joe is down and the entire combo is down.
And they just have nobody to push in, and Layla just popped the Uber charge for no reason really. Kind of maybe trying to save her life, but I don't think it was really worth it. Going all the way back to spawn now, the Uber charge coming from the blue side. Saturn chasing down with Sandbird, locking down the spawn doors, trying to keep the enemies away from the cart as the Poker with his team pushing in. V-Clock's hero play pushes Poker into the pit, but Egon is gonna go down as well himself. Here Meza pushing the cart, now Clark joins him up, and there's only Layla alive on the red team to stop it from happening. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, first map of this game of tonight goes to the way of SDCK, and in what fashion that was.
Absolutely. I think it's deserved overall over the 3 maps for SDCK to take it home. I think they were a bit sloppy, and I think they weren't as dominating as maybe we would have thought. But I think Feila put up a good show, and I think at least they got one round. Will, you know, give them some not momentum, but at least a bit confidence that they can take one map at least.
As we're gonna be waiting for the next map to load in, I'm gonna take a quick look at the logs. And unsurprisingly, Sandburn with 30 kills to his name, doing an amazing job on the demo class. Next up was Newbie, the soldier, for Feila eSports with 28 kills to his name, and then Yahoo the Pyro actually for SDCK with 25 himself, middle 25, and Joe in UFC with 23. So quite a high kill, high damage game as we're looking to take a look at the damage. And Sandburn and Joe in UFC very close in terms of damage. Sandburn just 300 above Joe, who is at 12,000 DPM. Or damage in total. DPM for Joe was a nice round 555, as for Sandburn was 567, so not really too much of a difference. And this is what you said yourself. Looking at the logs straight up, you know, the teams are extremely closely matched. Even though one lost against the other, it wasn't such a roll. Like, it wasn't a straight up roll. It wasn't a complete whitewash. Feila really was putting up a lot of resistance against SDCK.
I think Kazarok was bottom scoring on this server, or at least for his team, and I think that's maybe he got extra focused. He has one of the highest deaths, so he probably got very focused. So Cloudy had all the space, and a map like Upward is just so sniper friendly. Because Cloudy was just popping off there.
Looking at the kills for the sniper just to make sure, and you can see that Cloudy got Kaza 5 times, Meza got him 6 times, and then Vilja got him 1 time. So basically the spy and the sniper taking down Kaza one shot after another, one death after another. And basically how it works is that Kazarok is just such a important figure for Feila eSports. He's kind of came out of nowhere like a season or 2 back, and turned out to be one of the best snipers we've ever seen, with those amazing flick shots and those insane kind of pot shots from seemingly nowhere. He's managing to find those heads in a crowd, and those heads are important ones, like the medic pick or the demo pick. And then you kind of pit him against Cloudy, who's been in the game playing Highlander for so many seasons, I don't even remember when he started. And Cloudy's just such a great sniper, and he's always been playing at the top levels, and he's just kind of known for not really missing too many shots. And then what do you do against that? You know, you have 2 amazing snipers, you just focus one of them, and your sniper just can do whatever he wants.
Right. Cloudy, he didn't do so much more damage, and he didn't get so many more frags, but he had 12 deaths, whereas Kazarok had 22 deaths. And not that the sniper himself was carrying them, but just the fact that he's denying chokes and sight lines is what makes Sniper so overpowered, more or less. Because if Kazarok is down, they have more or less free room to push. They don't have to pop Uber so early, they don't have to waste, resources to deal with him. If he's down, you can just get an edge in the next fight.
Well, we're moving on to the second map of tonight, which is PL Borneo, the pick of the side of Feila eSports.
And we're all on a team blue this time.
They might be actually trying to see which team goes first, which is the usual, either you stack the team faster than the other team, or you go for a heavy fist fight, which I really hope that we'll see some, friendly, family-friendly heavy fist fight for whoever gets to pick whichever side. But now, Seal, PL Borneo, what do you think about the map? What are the tips and tricks of playing this map properly? What one of the teams should be looking out for? What kind of defensive spots? Talk me through it.
Well, on the first point, you have the little house next to the point where the center will be, and you will have your entire combo in there, and you'll have a sniper in there. Usually, I know some teams had an unorthodox holding on the left side, like from the pushing POV, in the little house with the health pack. I know the Bureau had it a lot of seasons ago in TF2. I don't know if it's still a valid strat. I would say no, because you're just way cut off if you die. But in this first hole, you're gonna hold your entire team on the right side of the payload. And basically you just need to get your sniper to work here. You can bomb in, but you can put your medic inside a house, which is gonna be really tough. So you need to coordinate your spy, you need to coordinate your sniper, you need to bomb in players, you need to push the cart. It's a tough first point to break, but as soon as you break it, you can't really take it back. So that's kind of that.
And moving on, the second line is kind of a long sideline, just not an easy point to hold, and usually the teams kind of opt out to put a light hold on it, but more of a set themselves up for the third point defense, and that is like such an interesting point to defend and attack because it's so vertical. There's multiple levels. I think there's 3 levels in total. There are some places they can jump on as a soldier or a demo man and hide. There's basically choke points from where the team can push, and they're not as easy to defend either. Like, it's such an interesting point, and you always kind of favor the defensive team on it, but one good push and dismantling the engineer setup there and killing the engineer would kind of make sure that this point will never ever be rebuilt again.
Well, there's good things and bad things. Like, I don't think it's as strong as you would think it is, because there's several openings. It's not like a bottleneck where you have to push through 1 or 2 chokes. There's at least 3 openings, so you can put pressure on several fronts as well with a spy behind. You can, deal with that. Whereas for the second point, I don't even remember the name of the little house, but you hold inside the house across from the point where you have the big health pack and the big ammo pack. Some people like to put the sentry inside there as well.
Oh, the Jenkin Cole Co.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could call it Jenkin because it's funny because this map was kind of made with competitive in mind. Like, that was the map that was made to kind of take over Swiftwater, because Swiftwater was also a map made for competitive. It was a map made from ground up to kind of complement what Highlander is for, how Highlander is played, and kind of emphasize what class can do what. But the problem with Swiftwater is that the map is extremely long, and games on it can take years before they finish. And then there comes Borneo, which came a little bit later, and it was also made with Highlander in mind. It was also made with basically competitive in mind, and every single bit of this map is designed to either help or kind of distract some of the classes. Some classes will fare much better in those narrow quarters, in those the huts, where Jenkins is, and the Clems, and those lumber yards. Basically, it's just a nice tight narrow quarters where the demo men can hide and put their sticky traps. But then again, you have this open area where you can walk through, and if you're not afraid of the enemy sniper, you can just push the card and get it done. It's as simple as that. Go behind and just sandwich people who are hiding inside those buildings. So it's definitely an interesting map. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I still prefer the vanilla, peel upward and peel badwater. But I'm glad that it's stuck around for us to actually see it being played more.
Absolutely. Oh, I also prefer the upward and badwater. I think it's a bit too much. Like, maybe they tried a little too hard. But
Yeah.
Maybe that's just my personal opinion.
It's just so vertical. There's so many vertical points to it that kind of make it a little bit more difficult to play and a little bit too distracting and too spread out. But ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready for the second map of tonight between Feila and SDCK. Currently, SDCK is winning with 1 point, 1 over Feila on Peel Upward, their pick. And this time around, we are on the Peel Borneo, the pick of Feila eSports. Let's see if they'll be able to take this one, and then maybe we'll see the third map being played tonight as well. Stick around to find out, as we're slowly getting ready to get this game on the road. Fairly standard hold, nothing out of the ordinary for the red team here, as red team Feila is defending first apparently. Rams are building up some buildings in the shed on the side, right next to the point. Nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, Seal, is there anything that we can maybe suspect from SDCK, something strange, or maybe from Feila?
I think they will use the. Well, I think I've seen both Pyros running the well, what's it called, the jetpack that you can fly in with. They were using it for the suicides on Upward, so you might see some flying Pyros if you're lucky.
And Vikos is a big fan of the weapon, so we might actually see that indeed. jakeowaty actually running the direct hit, looking for some direct shots on the sentry gun, but sentry gun is actually well hidden. And also Coco Bear is kind of feeding information to his team how the enemies are positioned. Now jakeowaty still looking for those lucky snipes with the direct hit. He's still kind of going for it. Cloudy's actually using a huntsman, and I don't know, I'm not sure. I thought Kazorak was the one that is kind of famous for it, but actually no, Kazorak is still sticking on the sniper rifle, and Cloudy's using the huntsman. A nice headshot from Kazorak onto Sandbird. Dismantling that Devilman is crucial when the enemy is trying to push this card in. With no more damage from the Scottish black Cyclops, is you know, it's gonna be difficult, man. It's gonna be difficult. Vilcek is the only one pushing the card at the moment. It's gonna get dismantled immediately right after by Samsky himself. And there comes Joe and UFC putting so much damage on the enemy that they can't really push this one in. Satori actually goes in with the Uber charge, trying to charge in. The Cinch actually getting zapped back. Layla pops Uber charge very, very late, and now will be able to kind of scare away the opposition, but they're losing middle in the middle of this team fight. Newbie is the only one who can actually do something. Conch comes out from the blue team as well. Oh, here comes the speed boost and the additional heal, as Sandburn is just charging with his team. Joe and UFC is the one who takes one up him, and then actually gets himself away. How did Joe survive out of this one?
Well, that's the disadvantage with the direct hit. You don't get the splash damage when you don't hit him, so he managed to wiggle away. Well, I don't know, maybe it's, you know, a bit of BM using the Huntsman, if it's, you know, just, you know, throwing out there, trying to get in their heads.
We'll see how it goes. Saturn actually just putting some arrows into the heavy weapons guy, who's the only one pushing right now. Feila is not really putting any defense on the point. The card is just being pushed by the heavy, and nobody's stopping him from doing so.
And he's getting arrowed.
There's a lot of people on the side, on the flank, but nobody's stopping the heavy. And finally, here comes the spike. Coco Bear stabs the heavy, but that is a little bit too late, as the card is so close on the point that they're just gonna keep suiciding players as SDCK until they actually get it. Jackie Legs with Cloudy just kind of taking down Newbie in tandem. One is distracting, the other one taking shots, and here comes Layla with the Uber charge, only finding just nobody really. Okay, here's Sprayer with Sandburn, kind of getting locked down on the side. Coco Bear and Samsky still in this, looking for the demo man. They find him, and then finally Fiklos goes down, but seems that the medic for the blue team actually survived out of this one, whereas Layla did not, which puts them at a massive disadvantage going to the 3rd point defense.
I don't know why they didn't block the card, because they got it rolled up all the way over the slope. Because if you don't push it all the way up, it just rolls back down. They should have stopped him. He got massive arrows, like 2-3 of them, but he should be punished for that. I mean, that's the objective of the game. It doesn't matter if you kill, you get sick drops like that. You have to block the court as well.
Ooh, Sticky Trap has been found out by the blue team, and here comes the offensive. Layla's dead again. No medic on the battlefield, which spells disaster for the defenders. Rambus are doing his best to keep this sentry up and running. There's a teleporter up as well. Layla actually rejoined her team quite quickly, and the entire Uber charge just went and bashed against the wall. They had everything going for them, SDCK, and they just completely got dismantled by this delayed respawn wave coming out of Feila eSports. It seems that Feila will be able to kind of stabilize themselves on the 3rd point, maybe build a nice sizable Uber advantage, and basically just kind of sit here for a while, as they've lost first 2 points very quickly.
Yeah, I think Nubby and Samsky just went to town there, got pit up like 6 frags together, and then used the Conjurer as well to just chase them down, get the cleanup. And then, I don't know why, but Sprayer on his way from spawn got stabbed in a tunnel because he was just waddling alone on himself instead of getting, you know, taxied. That's kind of a misplay, because now they have a massive disadvantage.
Look at where Mezzo's sitting, actually. Just waiting for a good opportunity for Layla to step out of position and stab her. He's patient. He's not gonna wait too much, or he won't. He gets Kaza, gets a sap, and gets the engineer as well. What an amazing
And he forced the Uber!
What an amazing streak coming out of Mezzo. That's just buying SDCK so much room to work with, so much time. They've lost 4 players in the fight before, as basically Layla and her team were getting ready to push, and they've used their Uber charge, but now Satorin is sitting on a 70%, 50% advantage over Feila, and will just be able to walk on at this point, and there's no engineer to actually stop this, well, card from being pushed in. There's a lot of exchange going on in the barn right now. Joe is trying to put some nice sticky traps and actually delaying this push, but all SDCK really needs to do is just get on the card. There's nobody on the card.
Oh, they got the force at least. Oh, it's a weak Uber, because he got body shot for 50, but then he maybe got scared, because the only one who was still there was Kazarok, so that's massive for them. I don't think they should contest this.
No, I don't think they can even. I mean, it's already at the point, and they're trying to stop it from getting capped, but Vickers was just a second too late. Layla comes in, the Uber charge, trying to clean up the shop. They find Sandburn and Poker, but they didn't find Satorin, who's just kind of out of the situation and safe and sound and building himself an Uber advantage. Third point of this map now belongs to SDCK in 5 minutes and 45 seconds, a very respectable time for such a long map. Cloudy fights Joe and UFC, which allows the team to push in freely without worrying too much about any sticky traps. Saturn 80%, 40% advantage. Here comes Sandburn with a nice jump, looking for some stragglers on the side. He will be able to find Kazarok, just completely oblivious of the situation as Kaza blows up thanks to Sandburn's sticks. And now Saturn 100%, Layla only on 70. If SDCK knows about how much of an advantage they have, they should have pushed now, but they're rotating? Oh yeah, here comes the Uber charge, just charging in with Sandburn. They don't have to worry about a thing right now. All they have to worry is just to destroy this sentry gun. Kazarok, Joe, and Rambo going down. That's huge. Uber comes out of Layla, but a little too late. Only 4 people up for the red team. Kind of getting spread out. Middle is a lot of trouble, and so is Layla. She's been separated from the team. Nobody really to work with. She finds one Uber song to Poker. Tries to go for a second, but she misses. Gets mowed down, and just like that, SDCK just walks this one in. Just like that.
I think Kazarok was trying to go for some hero play. He was very pushed out. Because if you always hold inside, and you have the sniper sight line, you're gonna force the enemy medic to pop early. But since he died, they just rotated and walked in for free to get the very late Uber. And they lost everyone before they could get their own Uber, so they couldn't really push out either. I mean, they had to stay in because the cart was so close. But
now,
overall, 7-12 is, I would say that's a good time. That's an average time at least.
That's a good time for Borneo, especially against Feila. But you know, here comes what I've been saying in the beginning of the cast tonight. You know what time it is. It's almost 11 p.m. o'clock, and it's Monday morning, or evening. People woke up in the morning, at least the working ones. You know, they have classes, they have work, you have to wake up in the morning, and then you play until 11 p.m., and possibly even later. And I'm just wondering whose idea was this to start this game at 9:30, because the team who kind
it's probably the kids.
Yeah, if they were forced into this kind of situation, that's just not really good for them, because they're not gonna be playing with their fullest potential, and we'll see. But here comes the next round. Blue team is kind of slowly pushing the card, as you know, as you would expect. Feila eSports just taking some damage for their trouble, but that's to be expected as well. Samsky comes from the flank, looking for an opening. Middle with those fists of steel. He doesn't really have to worry about too much, except for a spy who just stabbed him in the back.
Might be something. Yeah. Let's see if they have something up their sleeves. They're not running a huntsman at least. Here we go, Uber. Can they do something with it?
Uber comes out. They're trying to get, well, as much damage as they can, but there's flashy people on the other side as well. And the conch comes out just to additional speed boost and healing. Looking for Layla is Jackie. He's gonna go down thanks to the afterburn from Viethoofd. Now Viethoofd is getting quite aggressive there on the tracks. They've managed to kill 3 people from the red side. It might just be the time for them to push. And Middle is slowly walking right next to the wall, hiding himself until the very moment, using the advantage that the noise is giving him. Sentry going down as well for the red team. Clark is trying to build up another, but he's not going to be in time to get it done before this card gets pushed all the way to the first point. Now Jackie Legs comes in, tries to put some nice rockets in the middle. Middle goes down there. Layla's low on health. She's being pestered by Mezzo. And finally Mezzo finds the kill onto Layla with the revolver. And this push, just one by one, they had everyone in position. They have everyone pretty healthy. And they just got dismantled like that. I mean, majority of SDCK players also went down, but...
You see the spike crab. Now it's BM time. Already.
Was it Mezzo? Mezzo just got paid for his trouble right now. I mean, he's just been burned to death.
I mean, they get the force here at least.
Yeah, Uber comes out on the Poker. Poker is just losing the Thomas Lab, laying down some justice. But didn't quite find anything really, or anyone. Layla actually though, they do find Layla with Sandler. Some lucky sticks just find their target. 4 people down for the blue team, and just I don't know what Feila is thinking. It's already been a few minutes. They're still stuck on the first point. SDCK need to basically just stick around. Even if they let the enemy team push some of the points, if they put some light defense on the others, they'll still be able to hold this quite relatively easy. Newbie comes in with a huge bomb, but he doesn't really find anybody. But the Joe and UFC in the meantime finds Cloudy, which opens up all the sightlines for Kazarok. And they finally manage to find themselves in good enough position to push this in. Should Joe just go in straight with nice pills and sticks into this madness of a red player barn?
No one is pushing. They're all waiting for heals. Oh no. Someone just needs to take some damage here.
Oh no, Mezzo finds Layla. That's huge. And he finds Joe and UFC as well to boot. That the entire combo going down, and there you go, just one by one. Once Layla goes down, Joe goes down. Once Joe goes down, the entire Feila team gets dismantled.
I don't understand why they stood around. Nobody wanted to die. Like, someone had to die there. 1 or 2 people just had to go on the cart and die, so the next, 2-3 people could walk on it and cap it, at least, because they were in a really bad situation. But they all stood around, and SDCK just, waited for them, and you're like, hello.
Yeah, SDK is still holding this. I mean, it's just so close to being capped, but they're still holding that lobby. They finally found some kills. Yahoo, Jackie Legs, Cloudy all going down, and there goes Poker as well. Spirit just running away for his safety with Clark and Viljek to boot, just kind of get him out of the situation. But Feila are not letting this one go. They're still chasing the enemies, and good enough for that. I mean, they have to kind of chase the enemies. They have to at least get the second point in succession, because they've already wasted so much time on the first one.
They have no demo man, no sentry up, and they are Ubering.
Oh,
this will be decisive.
Oh, that's huge. There's people being blasted left and right. Yahoo is actually victorious on this one. What a huge shot there. Onto Joe Middle, Joe, Layla, all going down in the pit. By Joe.
That should be the nail in the coffin. I don't see them coming back from that. They have to win that push.
It's kind of the last straw, the last chance for Feila to actually do something. 2 minutes 30 seconds. It is not impossible to push this card all the way to Borneo, but the problem is that if the enemy team is even halfway competent in holding the third point and the last, I mean, there's no way in hell you're actually gonna do this. So at this point, and even 2 minutes ahead, we're still in this dead time for Feila. Even if they don't realize it themselves, we have the advantage of just kind of hindsight. Joe kind of pushing the cart right now with Layla. Middle's also quite aggressive there. Newbie jumps up and jumps down, just regular stuff. I mean, it seems that SDK let Feila just the second point go to settle themselves on the third more securely. They're still trying to, play this correctly and play it properly, because, everything can happen. I mean, Feila makes some mistakes, but they are also not known to waste any mistakes that the enemy gives them.
Absolutely. It's still doable. They have to get everything perfect from now on. They're getting frags, they're getting the sentry.
And actually getting
Maybe
Uber out.
Chance?
Yeah, they're burning out Cloudy. Jackie Legs also going down. Sunbird going down. Now they're chasing down Sprayer. Spirit going down as well. V-Clux is actually just going absolutely huge with that flamethrower. pretty much entire defensive combo on the third point has been dismantled. 1 minute and 6 seconds on the clock as the third point is rolled in by Samsky Rambo and Newbie. Are we looking at a hero play here?
They need to keep Layla alive. If Layla dies, it's over. They have an Uber ad if they're working on it, but they're feeding one by one, trying to get something done. They just have to get the Uber, and then they can push. But they're wow, that shot. But I mean, you say if Layla gets this Uber, it's doable.
Kazarok is just so dangerously scoped in there. If there's a head poked out by either Cloudy or Sprayer, that'd be huge. Yeah, Newbie finds the sentry gun. No more defense, additional defense. Uber comes out very early by Layla. She's not really willing to risk it. Poker getting destroyed there. Viklos is just going really aggressively far forward, finding Sandburn as well. That's huge. Now comes the counter pop onto Yahoo. Going on the card is the red Uber charge with the Pyro in tow. Trying to clean up the house. Joining FC on the card right now. They just need to kill the Pyro finally as he's being pushed away. But it's so close, yet not far enough for Feila eSports to actually push this card all the way to the last point. Unfortunately, just falling like a few seconds short. It looked so promising, but, you know, those few seconds are just that important.
Yeah, and Sprayer played it really well. He played it like Sprayer would do. He sat in spawn for the Uber, and then they rushed out. Like, they actually got the Uber to defend. It was just so little time. If they had a half minute more, that play wouldn't have worked, because they sacrificed a lot of players to force the Uber and just deny the cart, because they knew it was about 15 seconds left. So they knew that, well, it's 10 seconds left, now I have the Uber, and we have 8 seconds to Uber, we can block the cart.
Well,
because I think that's what Layla tried, or Feila tried to do on Upward, but then there was much more time left on the clock. It was almost a minute, so after they had that bad Uber, they just got swarmed. But if it's, you know, that 10 seconds, it's the right play.
Well, basically from now on, if Feila really wants to play for the first place medal for UGC 27th season of the Highlander League, they really need to win everything from this point on. There's no second chances, there's no more mistakes. They need to play well on their own map. So far, this is the map that Feila has picked, and SDCK has won on it the first round. Going to the second round is going to put extra pressure on Feila's back. It's already a late hour, they're already pretty tired after Upward, and if they want to go to the third map, they have to be ready for even more time spent on this game, and the fatigue is definitely going to start playing in soon, and we'll see which team cracks first. I think, you know, the first team who came into this game a little bit cracked was Feila. But now we'll see if SDCK keeps up the momentum and keeps up the pressure.
One thing I saw on the offense last time was when they had that fight on the first point after Uber, and Feila had what I thought was the advantage. I think the camera is swapped to middle, and he was tracking between a scout and a dispenser, and he went for the dispenser instead. And he didn't kill the scout, who killed him, and then it all snowballed from there, so let's hope he doesn't do that again.
Let's really hope so. Now Layla and her team here, Feila eSports, are going to be pushing first, with SDCK putting up a defense, and seeing how SDCK defended the first point so decisively. And for almost 4 minutes they've held this. It's going to be very difficult for Feila to actually get this one done unless they learn from their own mistakes. But, you know, I can definitely see that the fatigue is coming in. I mean, Kazarok is not sniping as consistent as he used to before. And then Joe and UFC is kind of making those, you know, silly mistakes. And it's something, you know, like you always ignore the fatigue of the players. But it's very, very important, and it really plays a huge role. As the first kill of the game goes to the way of Sandberg due to a nice sticky trap on the tree.
I think they need to get this. They need to get this first push clean, or the second push. If they don't get the first cap within at least 2 minutes, I think it's just gonna be an uphill battle. I mean, it's an uphill battle, but it's just gonna stop their momentum, because I think they had some momentum from that last push, because they almost had it. They could taste the round win on the tip of their tongue, but If they kind of hit the brick wall here, it's just gonna. I think it's just gonna be too much to handle.
Well, here comes this direct hit out of Newbie, and there's also a mini sentry being wrangled, trying to take down the sentry gun, and it does go down.
Joe!
And there, Joe takes 3 kills there. Cloudy, Poker, Viljack all going down. That's huge opener for the blue team. Now it's the time to shine for them. They need to go in and use the advantage that Joe has given them. Pretty much on his own. Now middle comes in with V-Clocks burning out the buildings, hauling ass is SDCK all the way to second point. They didn't even use the Ubercharge to block this first point, didn't even deem it necessary to do so. Newbie comes in from behind looking for the kill on the medic. Here comes V-Clocks. Will he be able to find a pop? Yes, he will, as Sprayer has to pop his Ubercharge to save himself and his teammates from pure demise. And somehow, somewhere, Feila actually doing everything right.
This is exactly what they need, and they have this Uber that they just had to regroup, they can slow down now for about 20 seconds, get everyone up, get everyone buffed, push the card up, and then just roll them over. They can't afford any mistakes now.
Mezzo there finding Kazarok, opening up a lot of room for Cloudy. Uber comes out of the blue team there, pushing into the Joe Jenkin Cole KO or CO. Oh, and Layla actually finds the kill onto Yahoo the crossbow, who's been chasing her as a pyro with a gun that shoots fire. That's kind of an uncomfortable situation to be in if you're a medic, but then they are victorious out of this one. But Satoran, 100% Uber charge, hiding in the top balcony there next to the dispenser, ready to go on the point, and they do. Charging with Viljack, pushing people away from the point is what happened last time as well. Layla actually going down, so does Kaza, and then V-Clocks to boot. 3 people down for the side of blue, and they haven't even pushed the second point yet. But here comes Joe in the middle from behind. They were sitting in the tunnel this entire time, and now they're trying to clean up shop. Unfortunately, their Sandburn and the Yahoo are to watch the situation, and they're gonna do the cleaning themselves.
That was weird, because they put in... I don't know if they were trying to go for a spawn camp, or they thought they were way, bigger advantage than they had. Because they got split up. I think the demo and the heavy went into the tunnel, and then the Uber came out from SDCK and just caught Layla and her pyro way out of guard. That's a misplay, because now they're in an Uber this sad, and they're gonna get stuck here on the second point unless they make something massive.
Oof, Cocobird tried to go from behind, get the sap done, but it didn't quite work out. Cloudy's there on the balcony, and so is Clark's level 3 sentry being wrangled. It's just so many red players around this blue cart. It's going to be very difficult for Feila eSports to actually get this one done. Here comes Joe, hitting the stratosphere, getting blasted away like Team Rocket by the Wrangler there. And Kazarok finds a kill onto Sandburn and even starts playing that sweet, sweet jazz music. And it seems that this opener was very, very important for them, as the entire blue team, like a wave, pushes into that Uber charge. Uber charge coming out of Sprayer, but here comes the counter pop out of Layla and Joe, and they're chasing up players. They may be able to find Sprayer. They won't be really following this one. Poker actually coming down with the law, laying down pain for Layla, Joe, Kaza. Just complete turnaround, and it seemed so promising for Feila eSports to get this one pushed in, and yet again, SDCK just kind of, goads them into getting out of position, and then they push them back.
They seem a bit sloppy on the offense. I don't know if they're stressing. They're just pushing forward. They think it's no time. They wanna, they think they have wasted too much time, but they're just throwing away everything. So Joe jump in first and gets denied by the sentry, and then it goes, a couple of seconds, then Nabi jumps in and he gets denied by the sentry, and in the meantime they have ×1 on the cart. If they want to do this, they just set in everyone, put the spy, and ×3 on the cart. You might actually get something done.
They're actually Cloudy on his 9th kill onto Newbie, and then Poker with this 5th. It just seems that this situation is done and dusted. I mean, Feila is kind of struggling to do anything out of this situation. This defense is just too strong. Cloudy is sitting around with the sentry gun, being constantly healed by Sprayer. Sprayer is in a good position always, just hiding. Uber charge coming out of blue side. Let's see if it works out. Trying to push away. is Feila eSports. Nice jump by Newbie, finds the Clark and a sentry gun as well. That might be the point of their turret, but Poker is just unkillable on the car, delaying it even longer. Middle there, also just sitting, shooting people in the balcony, finding Cloudy, but Cloudy is actually the one who finds the middle. And Mezzo finds Kaza. It's just a lot of kill streaks on the side of SDCK, and it kind of shows that Feila are having troubles in killing anybody on the side of red.
Layla is on an Uber red. It's about 25% if they build this efficiently. I don't know if they know. They don't seem to be building. Could have been something. If they get this point somewhat easily, they can snowball it to last.
They're kind of moving from the right side of the staircase here. Newbie goes behind looking for some kills, but he gets found himself by Jackie Legs. And then basically the Uber charge is ready to go. Joe UFC is the recipient of that. Chasing the medic, finds one pill onto Sprayer, but he doesn't find the other. They're trying to chase down the medic. The entire team by Vclox is gonna go down there, and it seems that Sprayer will be able to get away with his life and not really taking too much. Actually, they lose Layla in the engagement. Joe finds a kill onto Viljack, but the damage has been done already. Joe's gonna fall down himself as well. And that offense, though promising, didn't quite work out, and now Planet Saturn, aka Sprayer, has that full Uber advantage. They're building up their sentry gun, already level 3, and it just doesn't look too promising for Feila.
Feila did everything right except killing the medic. They pushed in with the demo and the scout, but they couldn't finish off the kill. I don't know if they lost him or it was miscommunication. But it was definitely doable. There's like nothing else you can do in that moment. You just have to hit your shots.
I just want to mention that Cloudy's on his 13th kill. He hasn't died in 13 kills this round. He's just been sniping shots one after another. He's been playing very, very well around his team. He's been overhealed by Sprayer constantly, and he's been putting so much pressure onto Feila that they cannot really do much. They're pushing to the same staircase side yet again, getting themselves into the advantageous position, hopefully. 80% on the side of Layla. Uber comes out of Sprayer. Now they're running away. That may have been a good play to kind of bait out that Uber charge. They're going to lose middle in the engagement there, and Vclox as well. Layla needs to get away from the situation, and she does, but she saves her Uber charge. She loses all her teammates, but that's okay. Teammates will come back, and then Uber charge is ready to go whenever they do. So, now, with Joe latch onto her, middle already on the staircase, shooting down Viljack with ease. They're getting ready to push into this. They might actually get what it takes to actually get it done. Cloudy is actually scoping down the wrong corner, which will allow the blue team to push in aggressively, and they do. They have a very good positioning. There's no Yahoo to actually block them from doing so. Just kind of not focusing anybody really to get this one done. They find Jackie Legs and Cloudy, but they didn't find Planet Saturn, who's low on health but high on Uber charge. They'll be able to counterpop it anytime soon, and they do. They don't have anybody to defend it with, and only Ramazar and Kazarok are alive on the side of blue side, where the blue. Mezzo actually finds the kill on the cat, so it's just Ramazar pushing the card like a lone Texan he is.
No, I think they do this. Feila, this is what the difference between Feila and SDCK, and I think this is what like it's been throughout the entire series. Is that when Feila pushes in, they have two people in the Uber, and they have maybe a third person behind the Uber. Whereas SDCK, when they push in, they put in, you know, everyone, and everyone is coming through the same show. Like when they take top there with the heals, but then no one else is coming in and cleaning up. If your demo and Pyro is taking that space, your heavy and your soldier and your scout, even your engineer can be up there. You can clean up the cart later or the flank, because what the opponent defense is gonna do is just gonna, okay, they're coming in top, well, we're gonna go lower with our 9 players and kill, you know, the 3 people on the cart.
Well, now, unfortunately, Layla has 32%, Planet Saturn on 100%. They have a sentry gun, they have the entire team in a good position, and they have a conch active. Joe and UFC trying to dry push actually gets an Uber pop out of Saturn. They're trying to chase them down. They do find Layla though. No, they won't. That's just an old body that is still lingering on the battlefield. She sees her own death. It's kind of distracting. They find Poker, they find Yahoo. That might actually be what they're looking for. Layla doesn't have the Uber charge yet, but they don't really need to. Dry pushing. They are into the enemy team. Saturn is caught off guard. They will be able to maybe catch him. Now Layla has the Uber charge, will be able to pop onto Joe should he decide to jump in, and he gets the Uber charge full on. Yahoo actually pushing him away, and he messes up the second jump, so that Uber charge has been kind of wasted, but they've got the point all the way to the third, and then Joe gets killed by Sandberg.
But again, it's a single person Uber. He's gonna do absolutely nothing with that. It's just a Hail Mary jump in, and it's so poor with that Uber ad. They could have used it to snowball to lost. I think they get way too ahead of themselves.
Yeah, they
might.
might
Now
have.
they're gonna have to do it all over again and find an advantage. And they have a full Uber, and they have a sentry, and they have a buff sniper on lost.
It's gonna be difficult, definitely coming into this. V-Clock's pushing the cart, getting blasted away by Poker. Poker, they're just kind of pestering Kaza, who gets stabbed. Kaza has not really been popping off this map at all. I mean, he's been having trouble staying alive, but that's mostly due to Mezzo just focusing the hell out of him. Layla actually getting stabbed as well there, that's huge. Mezzo coming in clutch yet again, and allowing Saturn to pop his Uber free of charge, basically cleaning up the house with Joe and Samsky, sending them in body bags. But now, you know, Saturn not only has popped his Uber charge and cleaned up a lot of players, he also has still maintains that slight advantage over Layla, who just respawned. It's gonna be a bit of a stalemate for the time being until somebody actually finds a pick and decides to, well, push this one in. Mezzo is still just unstoppable, finds another kill onto Kazarok and gets away with his life.
Well, Sprayer is a smart medic, so I think if he didn't get force, he probably used it because it's a free Uber, basically. But I think Joe killed Poker, then he just walked in and piped him, so he might have gotten the force, but it's all for nothing when Layla dies in the meanwhile in the backlines.
They tried to go for dry push yet again. They knew that Saturn Sprayer that does not have his Uber charge charged yet. So, you know, it will be a dry push against a dry defense, but it didn't quite work out for them because they, you know, Layla just dies on the way, and it's the third time in a row basically where she's not able to build an Uber charge, and Saturn is just free there to build as much Uber as he wants, and Layla kind of, you know, she throwing any reason behind the window. You know, thankfully they find Mezzo finally getting him destroyed, but they just throwing away any reason and just kind of, okay, let's hope for something, let's hope for the best, because clearly SDCK, they are just so hard to do anything against. Uber comes out of red team, flashing heavily is Saturn, chasing down the blue players, but Layla is already out of the situation. They've lost Joe, they've lost Metal, but that's about all they've gotten out of this exchange. Conch has also come out, and that may be what Layla and her team are looking for right now.
They're running mini centers on defense. It's kinda interesting. Kinda makes the direct hit a bit useless, but Nabi is quite familiar with the direct hit, so it might not be that much of a difference. But they do have the Uber ad here, and there's a mini sentry, so they have to make it this one.
Early Uber comes out, but they find Joe. That's crucial. V-Clox is the only one with Layla right now to just try to burn people down, and they were hoping for a sentry gun, and they only found a mini. And they've also lost Layla on the way back. Now Newbie and Joe are the only ones alive on the battlefield, and are saving up the buildings from Mezzo's revolver. But it's just so sad to see Feila, you know, having so much given to them on the silver platter. You know, Uber charge in tow, enemy does not have an Uber charge, there's no level 3 sentry, and they still kind of throw it away.
Yeah, it's kinda unlucky that, or not unlucky, I don't know if unlucky, but Joe dies there immediately. But what's more frustrating is that no one was pushing the cart during that all of that time. At least they could have pushed the cart up to the 2 pillars, but not even that. And then when they kinda have Ubers fading, they have to drop down on the cart and just gets melted on the low ground.
Yeah, speaking of Ubers, here's Sandburn actually leading a charge, trying to defensively attack, and they actually find Layla, Rambo, Middle, Joe, V-Clox, all dead for the count. Only 4 people up for the blue team, and that aggressive push away from their spawn, actually giving a lot of time for Clark to build up his buildings and defenses and kind of settle them and nestle themselves into this last point. I mean, we're in for a long haul, and seeing how SDCK confidently defends this last point, I just don't think that Feila has enough time in the world to actually keep going at this. I mean, you can clearly see how the best players from Feila's team are not really performing at their highest right now, and that's just simply due to fatigue. You know, you have Kaza, who's been dying over and over to Mezzo, who is currently just sneaking behind. He might be looking for another kill. You have Joe in UFC, who is just kind of questionable jumps, and he gets himself killed all the time. Speaking of, he just got killed by poker. It's just strange to see.
They killed Cloudy, but they lose 4 people for him. There's still an... Oh, here we go. Uber pushing again. I don't know if they're just farming Ubers now. I mean, Layla is no near even close. They're just pushing out. For the sake of it.
Wow, Ramos are almost getting out of the situation, but just an off sticky on the way go. I think like Sandbird even gave up on this. Like, ah, crap, we actually missed him, and then they actually get the kill just as Ramazar was warping out. That's actually hilarious. But here comes layover team. They have the Uber charge. They're just surfing up rockets and Ubering very, very early just to save the team. Saturn doesn't have his Uber charge, but look how such a simple mistake. Layla just popping in early, which is fair, but then she shares immediately right after with everybody around her when there's nobody to actually, you know, fight. Oh, what a kill there between Sandburn and Joe, both going down to 1 bill, just clashed themselves head on. Middle and Layla are the only ones alive on the battlefield in front right now. Mez actually gonna find the kill onto the heavy and gun down the medic as well. And it just seems like a Mezzo show from now on, and well, ever since this third and last point defense started.
And did they push the court? I don't understand. Like, if they're pushing in left side with Uber, they're basically clearing out the doorway, so there's no one blocking the left door. So the engineer and the scout and the spy can all come in on the left side and just drop down on the payload. But they're not doing that, and they're not bringing in the scout in the Uber as well, because the scout can just run your medic forward, and the scout can clean up the pyros denying you. But they just keep on doing these heavy pyro demo Uber exchanges, which on the defense you only have to Uber 1 pyro, because they don't have to make any plays, they just have to not keep them in.
Yeah, 5 seconds left on the clock. They need to put somebody on the field to actually do it. Lela actually getting gunned down while at 90%, and there's only 2 people up for the blue team to get it done, and they don't do it. 3 points only cap for Feila eSports SDCK. Now all they have to do is either beat the enemy time to the 3rd point to get themselves a win, or just cap the last point at any given time they want. And it's such a comfortable situation to be in. It's just clear that Feila is just not performing at their highest. And I'm gonna keep saying this because I am tired myself, but definitely fatigue is coming into play right now. I mean, you can see that all players, including us, are kind of, you know, starting to doze off because it's a late hour. And thank you very much for sticking around for such a long time with us. It's a pleasure to see that many people actually still watching this game, the UGC finals between Feila eSports and SDCK, as we're going ready for the second round of the PL Borneo. So far, SDCK is leading with 1 point, 1 over at PL Upward. Now all they have to do is just win this round, and they'll be taking the gold home. And Feila, unfortunately, Feila will still be cursed with the 2nd place medal, which they've been getting for so many seasons right now, and it just very clearly, you know, it already seems they're gonna be looking at another in their collection.
There seem to be a bit of, well, we can misunderstandings in the chat as well. They seem to be tired. Oh no, and the Huntsman is out.
Huntsman is out, Cloudy. What are you doing, man?
I mean,
on
they're
fire right now. He's looking for a kill. Oh, so close next to Joe's head. He's actually finds a shot onto Samsky there. Samsky's actually gonna finish off the kill with 21 HP on his well, in his life, but it didn't quite. It wasn't close enough. Now Samsky's hiding in the card, and it seems that the offense is kind of half-hearted out of this CK. They don't really put too much attention in it right now. They're looking just for openings and maybe some cracks in the defense of Feila. Feila so far looking pretty strong, but it's just the round just started. Ubercharge comes out, Conch comes out, I believe. and they're waiting to just go in. They take down the sentry gun, which is good enough. The counter pop has been deployed by Layla, just spreading it very generously between players. Now here comes Newbie, finds a kill onto a bunch of people, but it's not enough to actually find Saturn. Saturn's out and about, still alive. Ubercharge has gotten the sentry down, but the longer the wait, the more time they allow for Rambazor to build up another sentry, so they need to go in, and they do right now. Wheeljack leading in charge onto middle. Middle actually takes Wheeljack out. Now Poker is the one who is leading the charge. He's kind of on the vanguard right now, using the heavy weapons guy to his fullest advantage, taking the damage for his team, but Yahoo's the one who's gonna die into a level 2 sentry in the shed. He's actually gonna find another kill, and there's a 4th kill of Rambazor on the cart with that sentry gun. That entire defense is just kind of working out for Feila. It's kind of, you know, haphazard and put together, but it's working out. I mean, Rambazor having that very defensive sentry gun, very secure, saves the cart from being pushed, but then again, it doesn't really have too much cover. And there it goes down, thanks to Sandberg. Sandberg and his team are pushing the cart, and the entire Feila team is slowly backing away. They don't want to risk too much on this, but look at middle. Look at middle. Middle is hiding. Will he be able to find someone? No, he's gonna get gunned down by Poker. Just like that.
And Cloudys just keep on fragging with his Huntsman. I mean, they're pretty confident because they have more time now than what they needed in the first round for all 4 points. Because they did it in 7 minutes and 12 seconds for all 4 points, and now they have 8 minutes for 2 points. Well, basically 1 point. And that's a nice direct hit.
Yeah, it was nice low air direct. It actually find Layla though. Poker actually goes up and kills Layla just like that. And it's just there's about 10 people on the battlefield in total, but thankfully SDCK caps themselves the 2nd point, moving already to the 3rd with Poker and Sprayer. They find Rambazor lone engineer on the card right now, who's just cratered, trying to get away from the situation. That's just sad. Poker's now being threatened by V-Clocks, and it seems that, well, if Sprayer gets his Ubercharge quick enough, it will be kind of a pub-stumpy situation where the medic with this heavy actually stay alive, but no, it's not gonna be the case as Poker gets destroyed by Joe. However, Saturn gets away with his life. That's very, very good, and saves himself the trouble. Has the 20% Uber advantage, and there's no level sentry on the battlefield, on the battlements in the barn.
This looks... They're not pushing. Well, they should push. They have... The Uber is gonna run out. Oh, here we go. Never mind. Ignore what I said.
I think it's just kind of the situation.
But they do have a
where,
defensive Uber here.
Yeah, I mean, okay, here's the thing, Seal. I mean, here's a situation where Feila doesn't really have anything else in their store to stop SDCK from doing what they want. They keep trying, you know, just kind of doing the DM stuff and kind of going for kills. And look at this, cleaning up the cart, actually blocking it with Rambazor. And now Joe has to do it himself, actually cleans up the house, and it works out for them. Saturn, however, stays alive, now has Cloudy with him. He's still using the Huntsman.
You can hear Joe say, like, I killed 5 people, can we please hold this, you know? Like, please.
I mean, it's so close. They have 5.5 minutes. Well, 5 minutes and 50 seconds to actually push this card in. All they have to do is touch it, and they do. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all she wrote. I mean, very anticlimactic ending to what otherwise has been a very, very high-octane game late night on a Monday evening. And just like that, I mean, SDCK yet again, it's a repeat from the last season. It was a final between SDCK and Feila eSports, and SDCK has won that one. And this season, yet again, SDCK wins this one as well. And it's kind of sad to see Feila just running a little bit short yet again, you know, getting themselves yet another 2nd place medal. But you do have to commend them for their perseverance, their persistence when playing Highlander, when playing all these leagues, and still, you know, getting those 2nd place medals and still going hard. I mean, at this point, it is in a collection. And I think Joe is like, you know what, guys? Let's just play this game, you know, chill out, get a 2nd place medal. I need to expand my collection.
Mm, if we can see the logs here, and it's quite dominant. It's just the Borneo map. I think you have the top 7 fraggers are from SDCK. Top 7. And then equally for the deaths, top 7 deaths are all. But then when you sort by damage, you see Joe topping the scoreboard with 525 DPM, whereas Messa on second with 463. So Joe is putting out the damage, but I think it's maybe the wrong damage.
Maybe the wrong damage, maybe the right one. I'm just looking at the logs myself, and I mean, yeah, Mezzo actually. I mean, it counts the extra damage that is taken from the backstab. Mezzo had a game of his life. He's been targeting the right people all the time. Layla was down most of the time as well. She's died 14 times. Seal. She's died 14 times as opposed to Sprayer's 1. He died only once.
Who got that pick?
29 kills and 21 assists and 1 kill. That's 30 to 1 KD ratio. That's something incredible for a medic, and especially when you're talking about a final of UGC, a final of top leagues in Highlander. But it's clear as day that, it was a pick from Feila eSports, and I'm not gonna blame for anything except for just pick an earlier hour, guys, because this is just torture for all people, in this. And I'd really like to listen and hear from them why they decide to kind of play this late, and what kind of prompted them to pick Borneo, where they clearly weren't as prepared for this as the SDCK. But that'll be kind of slowly concluding tonight's cast, as it was between Feila eSports and SDCK. SDCK taking this one 2-0 in terms of maps, quite decisively in the last round as well. Feila unfortunately being given the second place medal, but they are collecting these, so I think everybody is happy. As we're gonna be ending tonight's stream, thank you very much for watching. Please do check us out on all relevant social media. Also, if any support that you give us now will help us on Copenhagen LAN, so please do check us out. Drop some coin, drop some love. We're always happy to listen. Any sort of things that you want to tell us, hit us up. But that is it for us. Thank you very much, and have a good night.